I recently attended a workshop and property tour in Atlanta, Georgia with an organization called the Incremental Development Alliance. In this video, I'd like to share with you a bit about this organization and some of the projects that we toured and hopefully provide you with some inspiration. Let's get into it. This was an incredible learning and networking experience. I had 3 mandates going into this event. The first was to learn incremental development strategies in the US and apply some of it into our market. The second was to meet like-minded investors and developers from across North America. And the final mandate was to explore investment opportunities for a great return and positive impact in communities south of the border. I also had a chance to give a short presentation to the organization about some of the Max Suite projects that we're working on here in the GTA, so that was a lot of fun. So let's start with a little bit about this organization and what they do. The Incremental Development Alliance is a movement that empowers small developers to make a big impact on our communities one step at a time. IncDev, as they're commonly referred to, is all about supporting small-scale, incremental changes that improve our neighborhoods over time. Instead of relying solely on large developers to create massive projects, IncDev encourages everyday people like you and me to take on smaller projects that add value to our communities. So, what is incremental development? It means taking existing properties and improving them through many little steps, perhaps by adding an accessory dwelling unit, renovating a vacant storefront, or by converting a single-family home into a duplex. These small changes add up, leading to diverse, walkable, and vibrant communities. When communities are built step by step, they're more resilient. Instead of a sudden, large-scale development, the incremental approach is about nurturing what we have, addressing local needs, supporting local businesses, and improving housing diversity. Here are a few strategies that the Incremental Development Alliance promotes for small-scale development. First, ADUs, accessory dwelling units or garden suites, which we discuss a lot. These are smaller, self-contained homes built on the same lot as an existing property. ADUs are an excellent way for small developers or homeowners to provide more housing options without needing new land. Second is converting single-family homes into multiple units. So instead of knocking down an older house to build a high-rise, a small developer can work with what's already there, maybe turning a large aging home into 2 or 3 comfortable apartments. This approach keeps the character of the neighborhood intact while providing more housing. IncDev also supports small-scale commercial development. This might mean rehabilitating a vacant storefront or adding mixed-use elements to a residential building. By enabling small, locally owned businesses to thrive, we can create more vibrant communities where people can live, work, and shop without needing a car. These strategies aren't just about building homes or businesses, they're about creating places that people want to live in. So now let's have a look at some cool projects we checked out in the Atlanta area a few weeks ago.
The city of Atlanta is heating up.
Goodbye, Silicon Valley, and hello, Atlanta.
The fintech and payments industry, it's continued to explode. The other piece is the creative industry.
As newcomers flood into North Georgia, many are choosing to live near this.
The Beltline is one of the largest urban redevelopment projects underway in the United States.
The Beltline is a massive community space for walkers and people on wheels.
We are essentially repurposing a mostly abandoned railroad to create this 22-mile loop literally in the city of Atlanta.
Originally proposed as a master's thesis by a Georgia Tech student, the Beltline has evolved into a comprehensive network of trails, parks, and future transit aiming to connect 45 Atlanta neighborhoods. Since its inception, the Beltline has encouraged missing middle and incremental real estate development along its path, stimulating investment in mixed-use properties, residential buildings, and affordable housing projects, especially in areas previously overlooked for development. People get around the pathway by walking, jogging, cycling, scooters, and other means that don't require a car. This approach allowed small developers and individuals to participate in the revitalization, filling in underused lots and spaces to create vibrant communities. We experienced this path ourselves as we toured several housing developments, as well as some of the nice amenities that were connected to the path, such as restaurants and commercial retail space. We believe that this is definitely a really cool project, and a Beltline system like this can work in many municipalities across North America. Another project we toured was a pocket neighborhood that was developed essentially in an existing underutilized green space behind a suburban neighborhood block. Over the course of several years, beginning around 2017, an Atlanta architect and developer built over 20 new buildings varying in sizes from duplexes up to fiveplexes. You can see the development pattern over several years from the Google satellite images. Although these appeared in form to be large, single-family homes, each structure in fact contained multiple units. He built a small private road from an existing suburban street to access each of these new buildings. So this was not an easy project, as he had to navigate many development challenges with various public municipal departments, most notably the fire department, for safety accessibility. In the end, he was able to accomplish this task, and it will be an incredibly valuable asset for all of the owners, as well as a community for rental housing. Just a short walk away are some cottages built as a smaller pocket neighborhood in the back of 2 properties. This was a max suite project taken to the next level by the same developer. 2 very large adjacent existing single-family home lots with 2 homes had 8 new structures added for 10 homes in total. Because of the lot frontage, they were able to build an additional home in each of the lots facing the street. You can see in this Google Street View image from 2016, there were only the 2 houses, and now you can see 2 new homes built right beside them. Now you may be wondering how they're able to do that. Because these structures were connected to the existing buildings, they were technically part of the same house structure to comply with the bylaws, but they functioned much like their own houses. The more incredible part was that they were able to build 6 additional garden suite ADUs at the rear. Some of these did not have full kitchens, so they were considered guest suites. Because of the way the new garden suites were laid out along the perimeter of the 2 existing lots, the center of the lot effectively became a shared courtyard and amenity space for all the residents to enjoy. This is an excellent example of how applying some creativity to existing lots within the current bylaws can create a highly desirable living arrangement and essentially a small housing community. Strategically, both of these projects were within walking distance to a train station that can take you to downtown Atlanta. Additionally, they were very close to existing commercial retail, which makes it very convenient for residents living in these properties. Developing around this proximity to public transit and shopping was intentional and an important factor for incremental development. The next project we want to share with you is another missing middle housing development with multi-unit residential mixed with retail. This was also taken from unutilized green space within a residential neighborhood. Here's an aerial view from 2016. You can see it's just green space with trees. And then you can see the progress of this project, which started in 2017 and completed in 2020. The rear of this housing development contained a mixture of housing options with access through a private cul-de-sac. A number of row houses were built facing the street with commercial units on the main floor. As you can see here, there are coffee shops, hairdressers, and other shops. This is a very interesting concept utilizing mixed use in a predominantly residential neighborhood. I believe this will be the future, as many municipalities are beginning to permit accessory commercial units in residential areas. As a matter of fact, the City of Toronto is now initiating a request to permit commercial uses in many residential zones, both along major streets and to a limited extent in interior streets as well. I believe this makes a lot of sense and is in line with the new urbanism principles of walkability and access to amenities. It would be great to allow residents to gain access to daily needs such as convenience stores, coffee shops, grocery stores, and other places without having to get into a car and driving. This will also help communities benefit economically and encourage local small businesses. Okay, we're going to stop here. These were just a small handful of incredibly creative incremental development strategies that we toured. There are so many others that we visited and learned from. The purpose of this video is to hopefully give you some inspiration to perhaps try to accomplish similar projects in your community. If you want to get involved, check out their website at www.incrementaldevelopment.org, as they offer workshops and resources to help aspiring small developers. The journey to becoming a small developer begins with a single project. Maybe it's a simple renovation, maybe it's a garden suite ADU, but that first step will build your confidence and skills. And with each project, you'll make your community just a little bit better. Thanks again for watching, and we'll see you in the next video. To learn more about the Max Suite strategy, download our free guides at suiteeditions.com and get started. And if you enjoyed this video, here's another great one for you.